Battle in race 1 starts again in 12th position. When you don't get into the top 10 in Q1 and Q2, then those positions, wherever it is that you finished, are locked in for the rest of the weekend.
This isn't new territory for him, though, having to work hard and developing a car. He's been there with Chevrolet, and he got a long career out of Chevrolet, so he's got the same job here, and he's got to take it in his stride, as he will, and keep pushing forward.
Well, Norman Mikulec made a blinding start in race 1 to go from his lowly grid position of 11th up into 6th position and held off Sebastian Loeb all the way through. Looks in the opening couple of laps as if he had the pace to get by Mehdi Banani as well, but when the move didn't work and then he was stuck in the dirty air behind him, blunted his pace a little. He will be in front, rather just behind Ivar Muller and the Citroens. In front of him will be these 3 Total Citroens. So, and that's got to be his target again, is to try and make a massive start to get by the cars in front. And we've seen so far this year that actually Lopez, I think, is the only guy that's not fluffed a start in his Citroen. So we'll have to see exactly how they get off the line. Here is Jose Maria Lopez, championship leader. And that's a very interesting turn of events as well. You would have expected, really, with his experience of Ivar Muller, maybe to be the man that was leading the charge, but fortune has dictated otherwise. And Jose Maria Lopez, so far, and this is probably going to be giving him the commentator's curse, has won race 2 in every World Touring Car meeting he's ever attended as a driver. All right, it's only 3 of them so far, but it's still a hell of a record.
It's a high
percentage. It's a streak he won't want to break either. Because if he can finish in front of his teammates and outscore them, then that'll give him the championship lead heading into Slovakia. If he can put the car from 9th on the grid into victory circle, then that will be most impressive.
One thing we do have to remember is Ivan has had a non-finish with a crash in the first round, so the others might come across bad luck throughout the year.
Yes, exactly right. Ivan's already picked up 1-0 because somebody had a huge shunt in front of him, Tom Coronel, and Ivan just couldn't avoid the spinning Chevrolet. His car got taken out as well. Something about our graphics makes everybody look like they're a redhead in a field.
I was going to point that out.
Not sure that's strictly true. There is just definitely some colorization going on there. Thiago does not have orange hair. At least he didn't this morning. There are a lot of fans in the grandstands that do, because, of course, orange and black was the colours of Zengo Motorsport up until this season when Mol Group came on board as Norby sponsors. So there are lots of guys here who have got bright orange hair. Thiago Monteiro, Gabriele Tarquini in front of the Citroens, but behind 4 Chevys. James Nash, when you're sitting on the grid like Gabriele, like Thiago, and there's a gap in front, you're going, ooh, okay, you roll your sleeves up even further now, going, right, here we go. There's an opportunity. There's a free, card in your hand, if you like. You've got to try and play it as well as you can.
Yeah, you've already made up a place before you even start, so it's mentally such a drawing thing. He's going to be looking at the back of Coronel's car straight away to get and fill that gap and push his way past these Chevrolets.
And, of course, what they're hoping, the 2 Castrol Honda drivers, that now that the Pro Team Honda isn't there of Banani, what they are hoping is that somehow all 4 Chevrolets will conspire to knock each other off in the first corner, opening the door for a glorious Honda 1-2. Now, whether that works and whether the 4 Chevys and the, get out the way and the 2 Hondas then can hold off the Citroens, I don't know. Tom Chilton, 4th of the Chevys, the official name of which is the Chevrolet RML Cruise TC1, which is obviously a nod to the constructor and the manufacturer of the car. And again, Tom Coronel using a lot of rear wing on his car. Let's look at the others when we get to the front row. And that might be an indication of the fact that Tom's not quite confident about rear tyre temperature yet, or he hasn't quite got his head around getting the balance of these cars. After all, I think did 1 day of testing. Marrakesh, massive accident, no racing, didn't race the thing in France. It is really new to him in a way that it's not to anybody else in the field yet. Yeah,
he's been a rear-wheel drive guy for a long time, so this is a big change for him, and he's done it and stepped into it very well, although we spoke to him yesterday and he was saying, how much he was missing the rear-wheel drive cars and actually really being able to play with it.
Gianni Morbidelli. Hands up anybody who can remember the last time that they saw Gianni Morbidelli win a World Championship race. He's done a lot of successful touring car racing, particularly in the Superstars series, but I don't know when the last time he won an FIA World Championship race was. For Hugo Vallant, it would be a first, but he's got a lot of experience behind him. I don't think that's going to worry him too much. And James, he's just got to focus on his own job. He's got to make sure that he gets himself into the lead at the first corner and then holds them all off.
Yokohama, your tire. Where performance matters, you'll find Total Quartz.
Cars on the formation lap now at a frigid Hungaroring. Round 6 of the FIA World Touring Car Championship. Pedal box with our poleman Hugo Vallant. James Nash, a left foot breaker, legacy of karting. Well, let's hear from Norbert Mikulits as he gets away from the grid, 11th place.
Hello everyone, once again from the fantastic Hungaroring. Procedure is similar to what we had before the first race. Standing start, focuses on keeping temperature in the front tires to have a good getaway from the line. I tried to repeat the start from the first race. It was really nice. But it will be a difficult race as well because Citroën, Ivan, Jose Maria and Sebastian are starting in front of me. They are usually very quick off the line, but still I have to do my best and I will. So thumbs up, have a nice time.
Well, the pictures you're seeing are also on the giant screen above the pit lane, so the grandstands are watching their hero in car in the formation lap. Now they see themselves and the red, white and green of Hungary being waved as energetically as the orange and black of Zengo Motorsport. Well, it's going to be tough, as Norby said, in race 1 to get in front of these 3 Citroëns, never mind in race 2 to get in front of them, never mind anybody else.
Big chance for Hugo here. He's got to really work his tyres and his brakes, get them up to temperature, and he can focus on getting all those switches on the steering wheel in the right place, ready for his start. There's a white and orange switch, one for the anti-lag and one for the start procedure. So he'll know all of this, and he needs to start preparing.
It's all the little fidgets I love seeing, just double cinching your seatbelts up tight and, you know, throttle against brakes and all that kind of stuff. The adrenaline now really racing through the body. Eyes wide, yeah, I know, eyes wide, heart racing, lungs to maximum capacity as we get ready to start the second race here in Hungary. The grid is complete. The green flag will wave at the back of the field. Round 6 of the FIA World Touring Car Championship here at the Hungaroring. The yellow and white car of Hugo Vallant, the first of 4 Chevys on the grid. Gianni Morbidelli, the black and white car. Then Tom Coronel on the right. Tom Chilton on the left. Away they go. Vallant immediately moving to try and close off Morbidelli. Too much wheel spin from Chilton. Tarquini's going through. Morbidelli on the inside, the Italian is going to lead, and look at Montero around the outside, cutting across the bows of Tom Coronel. Montero looking to the inside, he's going to be inside Hugo Vallant and the Citroëns all the way around the outside. Contact between Lopez and Muller, or Loeb and Lopez, I think maybe that Muller was on the inside, but it's Gianni Morbidelli who leads. Thiago Montero, exceptional getaway for second. Hugo Vallant third, fourth is Coronel. 5th is the first of the Citroëns, and again there's contact there. Little bit of contact with the car of Tom Coronel and one of the Citroëns. It is predictably Muller who made the best start of the Citroën. He is up behind Coronel. In fact, he's not shown on the timing screen, but my eyes don't deceive me that much, do they? It is Muller, it is Lopez, Chilton, Tarquini got swamped at the start after making what looked like a good getaway. Just got shuffled down the pack, but it's Morbidelli, James Nash, with the lead of the race.
Yeah, Tarquini looked like he did get a good start, but he must have got boxed out through turn one. The Citroen's going around the outside and squeezing the pack and really forcing their way through there. Tom Chilton got a lot of wheel spin and just dropped right back. That's a bit of a shame. He's got a lot of work to do now, and as we know, it's tough to get past people around here.
Well, Coronel is going to be the stopper now. The red, white and blue McGregor's car has got to hold off the Citroens.
I think Thiago's got a perfect opportunity here. He can take this win. Coronel, if he can hold these Citroens up, Thiago's gone.
Montero fastest of all in Sector 2. He's closing on Morbidelli, but how long can the red, white and blue Chevy hold off Ivan Muller? Muller knows the strengths and weaknesses of the Chevy crews. They won't have changed phenomenally over the winter. He's towing down the straight behind. Morbidelli still leads. Muller going to the inside, deep to the inside. He'll outturn Coronel. Coronel cuts back in front of Lopez. Muller runs wide. Coronel's back alongside him and just squeezes in. There was a rub, but it was okay. Borkovic inside Huff or Thompson, I'm not sure which.
Good
Muller.
switch back there from Coronel. He really got that tucked in underneath him and got the drive. He nearly made contact, and that's one thing you don't want to do with these Citroens. We know they're strong.
Yeah, it's like bumping off an Audi. There's only one victim, and it's not going to be the Audi. Yukinori Taniguchi is back in the pits. Not quite sure why. We'll try and find out for you. But at the moment, it's Morbidelli from Montero, who is close significantly in the second part of this lap. Vallant in third, then Coronel, Muller, Lopez, Chilton, all as a group. And in fact, the danger here for the Citroens is Chilton, because he's attacking, because he's got Tarquini, Loeb, Mikulic, Huff, Norby following Loeb, and Loeb, having followed Norby all the way through race one, won't want to be letting him by.
Ivan's normally very good into turn 12 on the brakes, and we know Coronel has a problem with brake feel, so we could expect a move there or into turn one.
Yeah, Ivan is always good at the end of the lap here. 12-13 is a definite passing opportunity, especially with the Citroen C-Elysée, which, like the Chevrolet last year, can turn inside anything else, and Tom sees the danger coming, parks it on the apex.
Tom will now defend into the last corner, and if Ivan goes wide, he can cut back and he will get a better run through this corner. That will give him the perfect opportunity into turn one.
Yeah. Tom has no option now. He's got to try and dominate the track, and in fact he gets good drive off the corner and he's pulling away from the Citroen down the straight. Now the Citroen gets into top gear and really starts to motor. Tarquini behind, defending on the inside from Sebastian Loeb. Loeb going around the outside. Look at the grip he's got to give away. Is there going to be contact? He eases him off. There was a little bump. Rubbins racing, and Loeb has to tuck back in behind. And around the outside is the black and red car of Norbert Mikulic, and he is looking to try and make a move, and the crowd are watching rapt to see if their boy can get by Sebastian Loeb, who is pretty much as big a draw here in the paddock. A spotting of Loeb is almost as exciting as a spotting of Norby. Well, Tarquini didn't get in front of Loeb, he stayed in front of Seb, who sort of got by him almost into turn one and almost then didn't. But Norby behind is shaping up to try and make a move. Coronel, fastest man in the second sector on this lap, but Vallant, the fastest man on track, is catching the top two, and he needs to, because just didn't quite get the start. Morbidelli, the best start he's made in that Chevrolet, and what a time to make it.
Yeah, you're listening for all the engine notes. The clutch is a big factor in this. It changes temperature the whole time that the red lights are on, and it gives you a different bite point, so that it's a minute detail and it can go totally wrong.
Looking inside, Chilton. Who was that? Maybe that's Loeb's camera there. Bumped into Chilton down the inside. Yes, I think it was, as he got squeezed by Tarquini. And the two Citroens made good move around the outside, but stuck behind car number 4, in place number 4, Tom Coronel. And the lead trio come past us, James, much closer together. Vallant up behind Montero, who's up behind Morbidelli. And that means it's really important now that Coronel holds off these Citroens. Otherwise, they will break free and they will join the leaders.
Yeah, Tom's doing a great job. I thought after the first attempt, Van showed his nose. I thought it was going to be easy for him to push past, but it's not that easy here.
And what we don't need is a safety car to close the field up. That's what Citroën would love, of course. And coincidentally, Sebastian Loeb hitting a big tyre stack and bursting tyres all over the place in Paul Ricard did give them the safety car they needed to catch Thiago Monteiro. Mikhail Kozlowski back on pit road. Again, I'm sure overheating problems returning to that car, probably still a legacy of the problem in qualifying. And the top three, 0.4 between first and second, 0.8 between second and third at the line. But that is coming down as Vallant closes relentlessly on Thiago Monteiro's Honda in second. Great view on board from Hugo Vallant of the battle in front for the lead. Kozlowski not having any luck with curing this overheating problem, and frankly they might as well put the bonnet down and push the car away. I don't think it's going to get any better at any stage.
Not going to learn anything, are they? Monteiro looks like he's closed the gap another couple of tenths on Morbidelli. Is he in that dirty air now? Is he going to be stuck there, or can he push past?
Well, he is now, but he still set the fastest lap last time round of the race so far. So he's quicker than the Citroëns are able to go behind Coronel. And Morbidelli, fastest first sector in this lap. So the race leader responding to the threat from behind, going quicker and quicker. Morbidelli with Monteiro, and they are just squeezing enough away from Hugo Vallant that Monteiro can concentrate on trying to get in front. And worryingly, Coronel still with Muller and Lopez. In fact, Lopez isn't looking. He's waiting for Muller to open the door, isn't he? He's just using the racing line, conserving his tyres, letting Ivan do the hard work. That's how you win championships.
Their teammates, they don't need to fight each other at this stage. They need to fight the rest of the field and get past. So as soon as Ivan does that, that'll open the door for Lopez. Then they can start racing.
I think Lopez is of the thinking now, why keep a dog and bark yourself? There's a four-time world champion in front of me. He happens to be my teammate. If he can't leave a Coronel offline, then we're not getting by. Whichever, I'm still going to preserve my tyres because I might need them in the last lap.
Yep, they've got to do it soon because they are pulling away.
Yeah. Not too far away. They're only 2.5 seconds behind Hugo Vallant, and Vallant now 1.2 behind Morbidelli. It does look as though it is the two Ms, Morbidelli and Monteiro, who are going to decide the win here. And for Munich Motorsport, as well as for Castrol Honda, that could be very important. Castrol Honda, first win of the season, that wouldn't go amiss at all. For Munich Motorsport, first ever win in the World Touring Car Championship, that wouldn't go amiss either. So either way, there's going to be a big story out of this. If any of the top 3 or 4 win, then we will have a new winner for the first time this season. And Yuke coming back into the pit lane, whatever ails his Nika Racing Honda Civic is clearly still not sorted.
It does look like just in this dirty air on these long sweeping corners that they really struggle to get the power on, and that's just helping the car in front.
And significantly, easy for me to say, it does seem to be affecting the Citroëns as well. Lopez looking to the inside. Maybe there are no team orders until they're running 1-2 on the road.
I think that might be a nudge for Ivan to say, hurry up, come on, we need to move. If you don't do it, I will. Well,
the other thing, of course, is when you pull out of the turbulence into the braking area, you give your brakes better cooling when you're using them and when they're getting hot. So it has all sorts of advantages. He is now going, OK, lap 6, let's rock on. If you're not going to do it, give me a go and let's see if I can bludgeon my way by. More artfully than bludgeoning, obviously. Lever. Insinuate myself into 4th place past Tom Coronel. And further back again, Sebastian Loeb stuck behind a Honda. Now we've previously, James, seen more overtaking being done at the Hungaroring. You know, previously, where it was tough for single-seaters, it was more possible to overtake in the older Super 2000 touring cars. But with this more aerodynamic setup, it seems that in fact we are now more into a single-seater mode where turbulence is what governs everything else.
Yeah, well, the speeds are higher as well, so the braking zones are shorter. because they're better brakes as well, better tyres, so they're getting better performance under braking. That shortens the brake distance, and then that reduces the opportunity too then to overtake.
Got to say, the white and black car of Gianni Morbidelli doing a really strong job, just using line and length, keeping the car on the racing line, forcing Thiago to try and drive all the way around the outside or use the grass on the inside, which isn't going to work for him. So Morbidelli doing exactly what you expect a highly experienced driver to do: ignore the pressure from behind and just race on in front. You can see lots of excited faces at All-Inkle, lots of slightly more concerned faces on the Castrol Honda pit wall. The Asport team would really, really love a win here. Thiago third in race 1, don't forget. Second now in race 2. Be a big difference to him. Further back, Borkovic, it's taken him a race and a half to get by Rob Huff, but he has done it. He's now got by Huff for 11th place, which he was unable to do at all in race 1. And Loeb still stuck behind Tarquini, and Norby now breathing in his exhaust fumes as he was making Loeb breathe his in all the way through race 1. Coronel is kind of doing what Morbidelli is doing, isn't he? Just ignoring what's in the mirrors and focusing on not making a mistake with your own driving, and that's the key.
Yeah, and if he doesn't make a mistake and holds this win, he needs to go and thank Coronel for holding everybody up too, because he's really being helped. Although he's soaking up the pressure, he just can't let up now. He's got to keep so focused.
Yeah. Halfway through, lap 7 of 14. One mistake and the Honda will be by. The problem for Thiago is the longer this goes on, the harder his tyres are working compared to Morbidelli's. Because Morbidelli has got good grip and good airflow, and Thiago hasn't. And was that a couple of spots of water on the high camera lens? That would throw the cat among the pigeons. Again, Thiago not with any significant speed advantage, not able even to think of showing his nose for a move down into turn 1.
No, it looked like he got a good run off turn 14 as well. We know the RML engine is very strong, and that just proved it then.
Chevy, in its previous guys, always had the ability to turn tighter than anything else and still produce that traction. I don't suppose they've forgotten what they knew about the old car when they were building this one. So Thiago still stuck up behind Morbidelli. Franz Engstler leading the TC2 class here at the Hungaroring. Right behind him, teammate Pasquale Di Sabatino. You hear the tyres scrubbing on the cars as they work hard around the twisty stuff. Di Sabatino, the TC2 winner in race 1, James Nash. And that gives him the confidence now that he knows he can beat Engstler in a straight fight. He's just got to try and repeat it, that's all.
Yeah, that's true. I think Frank was a bit erratic last time, maybe used his tyres up too much, and that allowed the switch between the two teammates.
Looking here at our race-leading battle, black and white car number 10, Gianni Morbidelli, red, white and green number 18, Thiago Montero. The Chevy in front of the Honda. Third, the Chevrolet, the white and yellow number 7 car is Hugo Vallant. He's now 1.2 seconds behind the leader.
Thiago's sitting here, knowing where Morbidelli's weaknesses are. He needs to build up a picture, and then last few laps he can really put it across him. I think sector 3 is Thiago's strongest point.
Yeah. And that is the end of the lap. So if he can squeeze by on the final lap and leave Morbidelli with no recourse to a counter-attack, maybe that's exactly what he's waiting for. It is a high-stakes option now. Jose Maria Lopez has got a little bit bored of waiting for Ivan Muller to try and make a move. And that is not just him sitting alongside, that is him trying to pass car number 1. Lopez, the championship leader. And of course, the more times Ivan finishes in front of him, the smaller his championship lead gets. And he's now waiting for an opportunity to strike. He may not win, but if he's top Citroën, he's still going to be leading his teammates. And that is all the battle for the Citroën drivers.
Yeah, one of those will win it. And they need to beat each other to go and win it overall.
It's get the points. Whatever position you're in, if there's somebody in front, get more points from them than they're getting from you. And it doesn't matter whether it's your teammate or a rival team. Such a team there watching with interest and just hoping that there's nothing silly going on. These guys are all far too professional, though, to get tangled up with each other. Apart from anything else, it serves Lopez no purpose if he retires. He doesn't score any points, and that puts his championship challenge in jeopardy. René Munich in the second of the Munich Motorsport cars, closing in on James Thompson. René doing a 53.0 last time round, the Lada 53.7. So Munich finding nearly a second on Thompson on the last lap alone, and in front of that, red Lada is the other one with the Union flag. That's Rob Huff's car, so Munich can size them both up maybe before the end of this race.
Top 12 cars on that last lap, all within a couple of tenths of each other, so nobody's making any gap or pulling onto the next group.
Well, what's significant of what we're looking at here, James Nash, is that you've got Tom Coronel's red, white and blue car holding off the two Citroens behind, but then there's a gap back to Tom Chilton that there wasn't earlier, and that relieves the pressure on Lopez. Now he can start to think about attacking Muller without having to worry about where Chilton's going to be when it doesn't work.
Very true. Maybe that's why Lopez has decided he can do that now.
Yeah, once the guy behind drops out of your mirrors, then all you need to worry about is the car in front. If you're in a queue, if you move offline, it gives you a chance to pass, but if it doesn't work, if it's not guaranteed, it gives the other guy a chance to pass you. Tarquini and Loeb, as you said, just about everybody in the 1 minute 52s. Leader 1 minute 52.3, this battle 1 minute 52.7. So fettered behind cars in front of them, the Citroens have no speed advantage now, and unable to find enough of a difference on the tighter Hungaroring track compared to Paul Ricard Le Castellet 2 weeks ago, a much wider track. They had more opportunities and more slower corners as well. You know, there was the hairpin, there was a chicane, opportunities to pass in slow turns or off slow turns, which sort of don't exist so much here.
No, they don't. These drivers now, they're getting into the stage where the tyres are really starting to disappear from underneath them. They've got a few things that can help them out on the steering wheel. Just changing the pedal map and how responsive that turbo is on throttle pickup, and that can really start to bring the tyres back to life, just cooling them off, minimising the wheel spin out of the corners.
Top three are Morbidelli, Montero and Vallant, and down the inside, Ivan Muller has another look on. Oh, and Sebastian Loeb going around the outside of Tarquini as Muller has a look up the inside of Coronel. Neither move successful. Incidentally, Dusan Borkovic has got by both Ladas in the last couple of laps, so he is now into 11th place. As Loeb tucked up under Tarquini. Thompson's been off, and there are a few little drops of rain falling. I did think we'd seen a couple on the high camera at the final corner. Now hearing from the pit lane, there are a couple of spots of rain. Now, James, hot slick tyres, even on a cold track, will retain grip from a few spits and spots. That won't be a worry. What is a worry is a shower.
Yeah, no, these guys, it won't affect them at all. It could just take the concentration away from people like Morbidelli, who are new back to this class. And that could just distract them enough to allow Thiago to get past.
Anything that will be a distraction will be great. René Munich inside James Thompson. And the allincool.com car pulls off the move. And that was a classic Hungaroring, all the way through turn one, all the way through turn two, and eventually it sort of paid off in the end. So that was a change. He got by Thompson for 13th. On board with Norbert Mikulis. Norby in 10th. Sebastian Loeb right in front. See the tyre smoke coming off that unladen rear wheel. As Gianni Morbidelli still leads from Thiago Montero. They have completed 11 of our 14 laps. There's Morbidelli's engineer. Well, he turned up in the paddock at the first race of the season. Dominic Greiner normally runs, he ran the BMW, didn't he, for Vika Sport, with which Jose Maria Lopez won in Argentina. Normally engineers Vika Sport, and he is still engineering cars for Vika Sport away from the World Touring Cars. They're not involved this year, but he has been brought in by Munich Motorsport to engineer Gianni Morbidelli, and his boy is 3 laps away from winning a World Touring Car race. The first win for Chevrolet. And Tom Coronel still defending hard from Ivan Muller and Jose Maria Lopez. Lopez and Muller down to the chicane. Muller is squeezing Lopez out. And this in the final 3 laps. James Nash, this is a proper battle now between the Citroën drivers.
Yeah, if we can listen to their engine notes here briefly, we can hear what they're doing and struggling with traction. It'd be good if we can go back on board with them.
Well, you've been in this situation all last year at Bamboo with your teammate Alex McDowell. It was fairly clear early on that you two were going to be, if not the only front runners, certainly front runners in the Yokohama Trophy. And of course, you're in similar setup and identical basic cars. You're going to end up in the same patch of tarmac a lot of the time, and that brings its own pressure.
It does, but you know, you're racing a championship, not just a race. So as much as you want the position in front of you, you've got to play the long game sometimes and give up that one place to keep the points.
Well, we are being told, as far as we can tell, there are no team orders at Citroën. Gianni Morbidelli leads onto the penultimate lap from Thiago Montero. And Jose Maria Lopez, the number 57, grey, red and white Citroën, is definitely looking to try and get past Ivan Muller for 5th position. He won't risk anything, but if he can force an error out of Muller and get by, so much the better. And for Montero, really impressed with the stickability. There's Morbidelli's friends and family in the garage, some men in RML jackets as well at the back. This will be a big red letter day for RML to get a car that gets a victory as effectively an independent entry. And they have got the Citroëns bottled up behind Tom Coronel. Tommy will be buzzing after this, holding off the Citroëns for every inch of the race. If he manages to keep up his defence, and he'll have so much more confidence in his car after this, because this is really, really having to soak it up.
Yeah, he's working hard for it, and it's good to see as well. It's nice that they're not just breezing past these Chevrolets.
Well, Montero doing such a great job sticking right up behind Morbidelli all the time. His tyres must be really getting mullered by having lack of front-end grip. Of course, they've got that extra camber on the back to keep the rears warm, but that means more oversteer or more understeer as the front tyres start to wear. Dominic Greiner can't wait for this race to be over. Gonna have to wait another couple of minutes. Two very apprehensive teams. It's evident now that the Citroëns are not going to make an impact in this reverse grid race. It is going to be either a Chevrolet or a Honda that wins it. Gianni Morbidelli, as he did on lap 1, leads into the first corner on lap 14. Thiago Montero, well, he said after race 1, didn't he, he got almost to the end of the race and then thought, it isn't going to happen, I'm just going to back it off to 95%, and
he won't be here. He needs to push 100% on this first bit. We know Sector 3 is strong for him, so he needs to close up as much as possible and then really attacking Sector 3. That's his only opportunity down the hill into turn 12 and maybe the drag run through turn 14.
I wonder if he's just giving Morbidelli a tiny bit of breathing space to sucker punch him towards the end of the lap. We'll wait and see whether he's got anything left to give or whether, in fact, his tyres have now just had enough. Behind, oh, and Morbidelli at the chicane, all over the place. Wow, here's the chance for Thiago. Here's the chance too for Hugo Vallon to go around the outside. Big moment from him, well held and well backed out of that. But what happened? Did Morbidelli just outbrake himself there? Have his tyres had enough? Surely of all of them, Montero should be the one struggling. We're now suddenly got 3 cars covered by 0.2 of a second. Last lap in Hungary. Morbidelli needs to steady the ship, James.
No, he's been faultless all the way through the race, and to make a mistake on the last lap, it's just a big no.
Out to the penultimate corner, turn 13, turn 14. It is going to be the first ever win in the World Touring Car Championship for Munich Motorsport. Dominic Greiner will be punching the air on the pit wall. Gianni Morbidelli wins his first World Touring Car race. Tiago Montero in second place. Hugo Vallant in third. Coronel, Muller, Lopez, Chilton. That's your 5, 6, 7, 8. 9th for Gabriele Tarquini. Sorry, 8th for Gabriele Tarquini. 9th for Sebastian Loeb. Phew. Disappointment for the Honda team, but relief and delight for Munich Motorsport. Their second season in the championship. And Gianni Morbidelli has delivered the victory to get them onto the top step of the podium.
Yokohama, your tire.
A very happy Italian. Your race one winner, Gianni Morbidelli. The Munich Motorsport team, well, whatever else Munich had problems with in the first race, he had a decent race as well. He finished up in 13th place behind Huff and in front of Thompson. Just saw Norbert Michaelis coming in, and his fans will certainly be cheering him. But a big Italian reception for Gianni Morbidelli, our race 2 winner. And always good, James, to see new winners in races. You've been one of those, and it's a great feeling the very first time, not as an independent, that you get to step up on the podium as a race winner.
Yeah, it's a lovely feeling. He'll be so happy with that. And the atmosphere when you first get out of the car is just incredible.
All the guys you work so hard with, all the stress, all the effort, all the planning. Of course, it's passing him all by. He's been there so often before. It's completely unaffected by it, isn't he? Not even remotely Latin. So the mechanics get the kisses before the girlfriends, and the wives get the kisses, and Dominic, he'll get the biggest of all, I think, probably. And for Hugo Vallant, outright podium finish. And again, you know, like Mehdi Benani, all these steps getting closer and closer to that first win. Again, a situation you know you can relate to. You get closer and closer, and you start to believe more and more and more, right?
Yeah, and it's given these teams hope as well that they can go out there and win races and get on the podium in front of these Citroens.
Well, I wonder how much in qualifying now we're going to see Hondas looking to be 9th and 10th, because it's, you know, it's shown that starting at the front in race 2, it's not a bad place to be.
No, they've got to go and do something. You know, you can use that as a tactic. We saw other world champions doing that, Andy Priaulx, and it worked really well.
Well, let's hear now from our race winner, Gianni Morbidelli.
Gianni Morbidelli taking his first win this year, World Touring Car Championship here in Hungary. Gianni, congratulations.
Yeah, the first one that bet the Citroën in this championship. I'm so happy, I'm so grateful for all the job of the team, the Munich Motorsport. I want to thank all the guys, because this is for them, this victory is for them, for NM Munich, and for all they did until now. You know, we are in delay, and this victory for us is a very recharge of motivation for the future of the championship.
It was very exciting to watch you. You had a great start off the line, taking it from Vallant. Bit hairy from Tiago in that last lap.
Yeah, I think he tried, you know, to overtake me in the chicane. He tried everything, but, you know, it was difficult to overtake me in the last lap. So I'm really proud and really happy. I don't have a lot of words except this, because for us it's a big day today, yeah.
For sure, you should be proud. Great result. Congratulations. Well done to you all.
Thanks a lot. Thanks.
Well, congratulations. And as he said, actually, I'd sort of missed over that. Not just his first win, not just the first for Munich, but they're the first guys to beat Citroën this year as well. Great news. And Tiago Montero looked just as happy with a third and then a second.
A fantastic weekend for Honda, a fantastic weekend, especially for Thiago Monteiro. Are you disappointed about missing out on the win or happy to be second?
You're always a bit disappointed, especially when you think that you could have it. I was faster, but one thing is to be faster, one thing is to overtake. And Gianni did a good job, very good job. He didn't make any mistakes. I tried to push as hard as I could. He was on the pace, so congratulations to him. On my side, I'm very excited and very happy about this weekend for sure. A third and a second is great.
The pace in race 1 was a lot higher than the pace in race 2. Was there no chance of overtaking at all?
It's very difficult. They have a very strong engine, basically, and really the main difference, every straight line I could not be close enough. It was slower, as you could see probably on the more technical areas, but we still have to work in many different areas. We are not there yet in some parts, especially acceleration coming out of the corners. We need a bit more, and so we'll work. I mean, it's only the third weekend. We'll keep pushing, as you can see, and yeah, that's the way we do it.
Right, it's podium time.
Thank you.
Super excited, Thiago Monteiro. Always really good to see the smile back on the driver's face, and just how much it means to the Honda team and to Thiago especially to have 2 big results. And James, you know, it does give us an indication maybe that the change of weight balance with Sitchin now still at maximum weight and everybody else dropping down 60 kilos is just having a little bit of an effect and might just serve to make the championship a fraction closer.
Yeah, positive effect, I believe.
And it's producing new race winners. Ivan Muller taking points off Jose Maria Lopez in both races. Just trying to figure, he is now down into single digits, the deficit between the top 2. Great start to the championship, to the race rather, from Gianni Morbidelli to take the lead. As he said, Thiago tried everything, even that tiny little bit of contact in the final chicane. And Morbidelli clearly was determined to hang on to that once he got his teeth into it with every ounce of his ability. Despite that little contact, he still hung on to take the first win, the first man to beat Sitchin this year. So red letter day for Munich Motorsport, their car in victory circle for the first time. Came in last year to the championship, 3 cars, a bold effort with the Seat Leon. It wasn't a competitive enough car. This year with the RML Chevy, they have got a much better device to try and go out and get to the top of the pile. And Gianni Morbidelli, courtesy of the reverse grid in race 2, has managed to do exactly that. Polman Ugavalon was 3rd. Thiago Monteiro from 7th on the grid was 2nd. And Gianni Morbidelli, our race winner. And Dominic Greiner, as excited as he was when Jose Maria Lopez had that fairy tale win in Argentina, because this is another fairy tale. And Franz Hensler, again the winner in the TC2 class.
And now the Italian national anthem.
So we'll have our winner's national anthem for Gianni Morbidelli. Not just the French that can sing along. The national anthem of motor racing for Gianni Morbidelli, and now the anthem of our winning manufacturer. Well, it is a massive deal for this small team from Germany that they have produced their first win in the World Touring Car Championship. Rennie Munich, I'm sure, will be absolutely thrilled. All the mechanics look like they're completely knocked out by the result. You know, James Nash, when you've got a car in the first couple of rows of the grid, there's always a chance. But, you know, all sorts of different things can happen. Of course, the guy alongside him on the grid there in the yellow and white overalls, Hugo Vallant, he had the same kit too, so it could have gone either way.
He did, and we have to remember his weekend got flipped totally around. He qualified 11th and picked up the 10th place, which gave him that reverse grid. So after qualifying, he was thoroughly disappointed.
But just watching him there as the anthem was playing, no matter how many years have gone under his wheels, no matter how many times he stood on the top step of a podium, do you think this means any less to be a winner than it ever did the first time he did it for Gianni Morbidelli? It really looked like a very, very important day for him. So, Big Dominic takes the trophy. Another one of the bright, smiley faces around the paddock, and even brighter and smilier today. And rightly so. The Yokohama Trophy goes to Franz Engstler. So then a chance to get cold and wet, which wasn't provided by the weather. A little bit of a photo opportunity first, though, for our drivers. Well, packing up is going to be a lot easier tonight for Munich Motorsport, isn't it?
It'll be a bit more lively, I think.
They'll be full of fun and laughter. They will be happy, happy boys. I think the drinks might be on Gianni Morbidelli tonight in Budapest. And it's a great city to go and enjoy. And I think you're looking at a group of German mechanics in the very early stages of a fairly major hangover. And rightly so, well deserved for them. Gianni Morbidelli and Munich Motorsport, winners here in race 2 in Hungary.